Make a farmer.
A photographer.
And a teenage girl.
Buy a bus.
Add a dog.
And let the adventure begin.
Good morning and welcome to O'Neill's On the Run Life in a Bus. You're joining us for Season 2, Episode 7. We've got Tom today. Ali,
I'm back, baby.
he's back. Ali has left us for Greece and Tom is back.
Yep.
So less chat this week. You just have Tom going, yep. Yeah. Dry farmer voice.
I would have done a bit of swearing when this was in because we're on the Queensland roads.
You would have.
Yep.
The angry bus driver would have been
That's
a
it.
thing.
And you're only in your seat when you kiss it.
Yeah. So last week we went from Maitland to Tamworth, Tamworth to Dalby, Dalby to Wandoan, and we pick up today from the Waterloo Plains free camp at Wandoan, and we're heading to Theodore.
Yeah.
And it was a hill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had the bike kept coming loose.
Over 20 times, I reckon.
Yeah. I think more of it was before we got to Wandoan, wasn't it?
The first definitely come loose
Yeah,
before
and then
Wandoan.
I changed the straps around, and I thought
Remember we were in Theodore and we were trying to buy rope and everything was closed because it was Easter or Good Friday or something.
We did eventually get it tight. It wasn't with rope. It was I ended up double strapping it.
Yeah. So as soon as we got over the Queensland border and into that southwest Downs and then up through the central part of Queensland, the whoop and hollow in the roads with 40-footer bus and then a single axle trailer, it wreaked havoc.
It did. Wasn't much fun.
No, and the bike kept coming loose and we ended up having to set a reverse on the side of the road, set a reversing camera up to monitor the inside of the trailer.
Yeah, because when we pulled up at Wandoan, the bike was up the front of the trailer.
On top of the generator.
Yeah, it had all been rubbing up. And
it had wreaked havoc. So we bodged up a reversing camera on the inside of the trailer.
Yeah. So
we could just see.
Yeah, I could see what was going on.
So he could see when it started to come loose, started to move around, and then we'd pull over, tighten everything up, and off we'd go again for like 5 kilometres. Pull over, tighten the motorbike up, and continue on.
Yeah.
And it was only 156 kilometres, but I feel like it was a very long 156.
Took long, yeah. I remember I pulled up at Wandoan and the bike wasn't loose.
Yeah, it was properly loose. Yeah. It wasn't just slightly loose on its straps. It was adrift.
Yeah.
Yeah, so on the way between Wandoan and Theodore, we stopped at the Taroom River Walk, which was pretty overgrown and disappointing.
Yeah.
The river there is lovely, and there could be a nice area along the river there.
Yeah, I don't remember it.
You don't remember
it? No.
We walked out to like an old bridge beside the new bridge across from the servo, and it was all the grass was super long and the road was all rutty.
Yeah. And it was like all mud flatty.
Yeah, like it hadn't been maintained, but if they just slashed a nice track, it could have been really nice.
Spot. Yeah.
And also there's like a bakery in Taroom, but the pies weren't very good.
No, but it was the only shop open.
It was the only shop open. I think we were there Good Friday maybe.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I can't remember either.
No, it was the only shop open. The yellow pastry pies, they're going to be shit.
No, yellow pastry are good pies.
No, yellow pastry shit pies.
Yellow pastry's good.
Yellow pastries are the old ones from Canada. They used to put the dog food in.
Well, they might have been dog food in the ones at Taroom too. Hey, everybody at Gunnedah ate those pies.
Yeah, they were good.
At
least they put pal in them and not made or something.
All the good expensive stuff. And when we got to Theodore, we went to the Junction camp spot, which is right on the corner of the two rivers there. Yeah. And it would have been a spectacular spot to stay, but it was Easter weekend and it was packed. Yeah. And when it's not packed, it might be big rig friendly. But when it's full,
was a big rig.
There was one big rig in there, at the time. But to get in or out when it was so full would have been a non-event. It would have been a disaster. Yeah. So we just went and stayed up at the showgrounds, which was $20 per night on power. It had big space, like big open flat spaces, good amenities, and it was not a bad walk into town. We walked into town
no,
twice.
well, we walked, and then walked right around the river and that in town.
Yeah, and to walk through Theodore, there's not a lot there. They're trying a little bit. There's some cafes and stuff, sort of trying to capture the touristy market.
Yeah.
One we stopped at, I forget what it's called, but it was nice.
Yeah.
And then so we walked around and had a nice walk around Theodore.
A couple of walks through Theodore, I think I did.
Yeah, not a huge town, not a lot going on.
No.
But it's a nice spot on the river there.
Yeah, you sort of bypass it. If you don't make the note to go into it, you just bypass
Drive
it.
straight through the edge of it, don't you?
And we walked down to the weir there.
Yeah,
but
the
it
next
wasn't
morning.
much fun to walk down there.
It was full of long grass and
Yeah.
things again too.
Yeah.
But it was quite nice to walk down to the weir and check that out. Oh, we've got new neighbours coming in the caravan park by the look. We are at Williams River Caravan Park on the we're at Clarencetown at the Williams River Caravan Park. And it's we've got new neighbours coming in. We always like to sticky beak at the new neighbours coming into the park. What else? So we walked down to the weir, and then I got sidetracked by the newbies coming in the van. And in the afternoon there was a big storm, and it was my first Queensland storm in ages, and I missed a good Queensland storm.
Yeah.
Someone looks at me like I'm a dirty hippie, and half the caravan park did look at me like I was a dirty hippie because I was sitting out there in the rain, photographing the lightning.
Yeah.
It was fabulous. I love them, the way they build and sweep across the flat, and you can see them coming, and the humidity before they come. I just love a good Queensland storm.
Yeah.
That's the Queenslander in me. No one else seems to get it. We just spent
Nobody gets Queensland.
Only other Queenslanders. We spent the one night at Theodore, and then we headed to Mount Hay, which was a complete random find. We just wiki camped.
Yeah. Just looking for something for Ali to do.
Ali liked rocks.
Yeah.
She used to call them gocks.
Yeah.
Always had a pocket of gocks when she was little. Pretty rocks. So we found Mount Hay, and it had fossicking.
Yeah.
And it was $30 a night on power or $45 a night, and that included your fossicking.
Yeah.
And they were pretty good. They're pretty helpful about like showing you what you're supposed to get and not what was good and what was bad.
Yeah.
Got a little tutorial and some digging tools and stuff.
Yeah. He carts the dirt up from down the bottom. And
it makes a huge big pile, and then you just rummage around through the pile. And it was 178 k's from Theodore to Mount Hay, and Mount Hay is sort of just before Rockhampton, on the inside of Rockhampton, pretty much inland side. Now you had to drive the bus up that hill, so you probably can describe that.
Oh, it was steep. It wasn't too bad. I didn't get out at first, but I poked up there.
It was a dirt track.
Yeah.
And had some woo boys in it.
Yeah.
It was steep, but the bus towing a trailer got up there.
Yeah, got up there, all right.
And then when we got to the top, it's quite a small caravan park.
Yeah, there's only about 3 or 4 spots
on power there, but we snuck in. We didn't have a problem.
No.
So it is big rig friendly, but it's definitely one of those cooler head big rig friendly.
There's probably 1 or 2 spots, or probably 1 spot you can get. You can get on.
Yeah, so it definitely is a cooler head if you're going to take a big rig up there, and it's dog friendly.
And if you're not confident, you have to drive up there
first. Yeah. It could be one of those ones that caught you out if you weren't super confident. And the facilities there, I'm going to call them bush camping facilities.
Yeah.
They were basic.
Yeah, corrugated iron shower.
Corrugated iron shower. Look, the showers were hot.
Yeah.
They were somewhat clean. They were fully functional.
Yeah.
There were cane toads in the shower with you.
Yeah.
But look, they were perfectly suitable for the purpose. They were nothing flash, but they served their purpose.
Yeah, that's right.
And then we went fossicking. It was a hot afternoon, and we went digging for gocks.
Yeah, I didn't go. You and Ali.
No, me and Ali went, and we found a handful of thunder eggs and some agates and things, and so you dig everything, you put it in a bucket, and then you take it back to the guy in his little rock shop, and he sorts through them for you and tells you if you've got rubbish or good things.
Yeah.
And then he cuts all the good things for you, included in the price. So that was nice.
He was fairly busy when we first got there.
Yeah, and people just came and done fossicking. Like you didn't have to stay there.
No.
So people, you could just come and buy an ice cream and dig for rocks, or you could stay. And we decided to stay. I reckon it was a good experience.
Yeah, I think it was all right.
Yeah, for the price. I mean, who gets to do something for $45 these days?
And I think we drove into Gracemere and got some groceries and came back,
Yeah,
which
you
isn't
went down.
far.
Yeah, just down the road to Gracemere. Just spent the one night there. You could spend a couple of nights there, especially if you're into fossicking.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
You
right.
could have a good rummage around there. But one night
Mosquitoes that eat you
there was a lot of mosquitoes. I think it must have been wet because everywhere
the
was
dirt
long,
was all wet. When
everywhere was long grass and everything. There must have been rain up there before we'd gone up through central Queensland, I'd say. I guess it was the end of the wet season, so it probably makes sense. We went from Mount Hay to St. Lawrence, 230 kilometres.
Yep.
Stayed at the sports ground, I think it's called, like a showgrounds.
It's all unpowered. One side's generator friendly and the other side isn't generator friendly.
$13 a night donation style for the unpowered.
Yeah, which I paid with shrapnel.
We paid with 5 and 10 cent pieces.
And I put it all in a bag, and it took me about 10 minutes to feed it in the donation jar. I had to feed it 2 corns at a time.
Had no notes.
But there's not much stuff. You sort of got to go what's on WikiCamp and then just pay that. Like, there's nothing to tell you what to pay.
Yeah, we just went with the rate that was on Wiki and hoped that it was right, because we always try to do the right thing by those places.
Yeah,
because you don't want to lose them.
No, it was nice showers and toilets. Everything was tidy
and it was in
clean.
a nice spot. Like, it was out of the town, but right on the edge of the wetlands.
Yeah.
And we walked out to the wetlands into the big river mouth there, and I tried some fishing, but didn't have any luck.
Well, the wetlands you look at and go, oh, what a stupid thing. And then you actually walk out to where they got a platform and with all the birds and stuff. And that, it was actually a nice spot.
Yeah, and lots of kangaroos and things.
Yeah, I think there's a bowling club and a pub in town. We didn't go to either. And I'm pretty sure the pub's got free camp.
Yeah, pub camping at the pub. I found St. Lawrence a bit Wolf Creeky.
Yeah, well, I didn't go anywhere, but we went around town a bit. And you sort of drive, once you leave St. Lawrence, you think you're going to get onto the ocean, but you cannot get to the ocean.
No, it's all just salt flats and mangrovey.
Yeah, and like bush blocks and...
Yeah, so you can get onto the big river mouth there. Yeah,
you can go down further and you sort of drive for ages, then you hit like a boat ramp in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. I went fishing in the river and I thought I'd saw my first crocodile for the trip. Convinced it was a crocodile, and another lady fishing with me thought it was a crocodile. So I said, I'll put the drone up and I'll go and have a look, and it was just a logodile. Yeah. It wasn't it was just a log in the mud, but we were both convinced it was a crocodile sitting there looking at us. But it wasn't.
No, never is.
Well, no, we haven't seen many, have we? No. I do have here on my notes at St. Lawrence mosquitoes.
Yeah, I can't remember the mosquitoes.
I think when we went out to the wetlands, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Mosquitoes in a wetland.
Oh, they don't bother me like they bother you.
No, if they're around and they get me, they're the one they're going to get.
Yeah.
We also got fuel somewhere between, in Rockhampton actually, I think we got fuel.
Yeah.
And we went 166 litres at $1.89. So 23.1 litres, 100 for that stretch.
Yeah.
Going slow with the motorbike and pretty flat.
Yeah, it's pretty flat.
So done all right there.
I don't know that you could fall flat. It doesn't feel flat in a bus.
There's no big hills, okay? There's no big hills.
No.
And
You've got to watch out for the bit of road in the potholes.
We went from St. Lawrence up to Barracrab.
Yeah. Did we go to Barracrab straight away, or did we try and stay at Mackay? Or is
that was the
before?
next. Barracrab was before the next.
Yeah, I thought Barracrab. You told me Barracrab was after Mackay the other day.
No, we tried to stay at.
But Barracrab's halfway in between
Rockhampton and Mackay.
Right.
Yeah. Barracrab is something that's the name of the caravan park. It's at the town called Clairview. It's something we'd both seen on Facebook and sort of mentally noted, but not really investigated.
If you look at the map, you look at it, and Clairview is like the first place that you pop back onto the ocean for ages from like on that whole road up. You don't see the ocean at all. And
on the Bruce Highway, yeah.
Yeah, and you don't see it. If you don't go into Clairview and look, you don't see the ocean.
Yeah.
On the highway.
So, Barracrab was somewhere we'd seen, but we'd not really researched. We'd kind of mentally noted it, and we saw the sign.
Yeah.
And we said we're going to Barracrab. It was 230 kilometres from St. Lawrence to Barracrab, and we were $42 a night unpowered.
Yeah.
And we stayed for 2 nights.
Yeah.
We could have stayed a week.
Yeah.
Should have stayed a week.
Yeah.
If we ever go back, we'll stay for a month.
Yeah, if they fix up their rate.
Well, we were there Easter weekend.
Yeah.
So
No, everybody was leaving.
yeah, so school holidays probably still.
And they still had the stinky skiff thing.
Yeah. So St. Lawrence, we went, stopped at Marlborough to stretch the legs on the way, which was just a little shithole on the side of the highway.
Yeah.
And the food, remember, there was only those greasy, horrible potato cakes were the only things in the flawed. I went to the servo to get coffee and something to eat. Well, we stretched the legs, and there was like blowflies in the window.
Oh, was that Ali? Was that
Ali
that
drove.
further? Yeah, Ali drove up. Yeah, I know the one.
And there was it was instant coffee.
Yeah.
And these like greasy double fried potato cakes, and it was awful, awful food. But it was like the only thing for like 100 kilometers either way.
Yeah.
Should just cook something in the bus.
Yeah, I think so.
But anyway. We ate there, and then we pulled into Barracrab and loved it.
Yeah, huge big tide.
Yeah, I got caught out on the kayak.
Yeah,
but let's talk about the sites first. The sites, if
don't pay powered.
Don't go powered. Pay for the
so
unpowered. Powered is really congested, not in the best part of the park.
Unless you got to go to the toilet all the time.
Yeah, if you need to go to the amenities all the time, stay up on powered. If you don't, go unpowered waterfront.
Yeah.
On a high tide, you could literally fish from under your awning.
Yeah.
And the water, oh my God, the water's just the most amazing colour.
Yeah.
It was perfect. We just sat there with the campfire, looking at the water.
Yeah.
One of my favourite spots.
Yeah, I think so. It's been pretty good. I enjoyed staying there.
Yeah, it was pretty peaceful after the Easter rush.
If you had a boat, I think it'd be a really good spot. But you'd only need a tinny. Like, it's not rough.
No, it's not rough because you're still on the inside of the Great Barrier Reef.
Yeah.
Or a jet ski or something, probably be fun.
Yeah.
People had their quads and they were riding their quads down the beach and stuff. But super duper high tides.
Yeah.
And low tides.
Yeah.
Big tides.
Yeah.
So I went out in the kayak to do some fishing and hooked something rather large and got towed out. Yeah. I was trying to wheel it in and it was just taking me out to sea, and eventually it snapped me off. Must have been big shark, I think.
Yeah.
Probably. Don't really know. Glad I kind of didn't find out in my kayak. But I ended up quite a way offshore and then had to paddle back in against the outgoing tide. And by the time I got in, it was all mud flat. Yeah. And I had to trudge, I don't know how far, maybe a kilometre.
No, it wouldn't be like 500 metres the furthest you get.
Felt like... Yeah. It felt like awful, and the mud was, I only had pluggers on, so the mud was coming like halfway up my calves, and I was blowing my pluggers, but there's sharp things in the mud, so you need your shoes on while dragging my kayak. It was fucked. It was absolutely awful.
You should have just towed one of them mangrove trees and tied it off and got it out and went back out when it was high tide.
Well, then you would have had to swim out there.
Yeah, but that would have been easy and trudging through the mud.
But I felt justified a little bit because some guy went out in his tinny and come back later than me, and he was stuck way out.
Yeah, that was a fella that you seen going driving out at night in his ute.
He tried to drive out.
And he went out to his boat, swung around his boat and kept going. He didn't want to stop back
because he just sunk. And so do watch the big tides at Barracrab.
Yeah, all the locals. There's one row of houses along the ocean, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like there wouldn't be 100 houses there. There might be 80.
Yeah.
At the most, and they've all got tractors.
Yeah.
To launch their boats. Yeah. And you see them even struggle when it's full tide to get them off at the ramp.
Yeah. And the water there, even though it's the most amazing shade of blue, and if you hop on Instagram or Facebook, you'll see, or YouTube, you'll see the videos of Barracrab. The water is just the most amazing shade of blue, but it's kind of milky and you can't really see in it. It's not clear water.
No, it's not clear water.
It's kind of milky. And the very first afternoon, before I took the kayak out, I was just flicking some bait around sort of waist deep in the water. They tell me there's no crocodiles there. I'm not so sure anymore. but they tell me there's no crocodiles there. And you know when you're in the water and you can just kind of feel that there's something else in the water with you? Tom probably doesn't know because he doesn't really go fishing much. But I started slowly backing away towards the beach just in case a big crocodile was coming to get me. And I got sort of back into it. It was just below my knees, and this dirty great big sea turtle popped out. Maybe like a foot away. I could have reached out and touched him, and they swam around sort of around your legs, chasing the little fish in the shallows. But he scared the life out of me because I thought it was going to be a big croc popping up in front of me, but just a sea turtle, which turned out to be pretty cool.
Yeah.
We did do some drone work while I was there, and I am convinced I've got a crocodile in my photo. There's 2 people fishing, and then a little gap, and then a little black shape in the water that looks very crocodile-ish from above.
Yeah.
But we'll never know.
Oh, that's right. Take the dog with you next time.
Take the dog swimming next time. Make sure she's further out. She did. Remember, she came out fishing with us once there, and she cut all her feet open on the oysters, chasing birds. She was just so hell bent on catching a bird that she'd cut all her feet open on the rocks and the oysters.
Yeah.
She's had a few run-ins with oysters.
Yeah.
Shaved her butt on an oyster the other day.
That's right.
Fell off the boat ramp and shaved the hair clean off her butt with an oyster.
Yeah.
Yeah, poor Mimi. She just doesn't think. She just goes charging in, and to hell with the consequences.
That's right.
Also, while we're at Barracrab, we had some lunch up at the pub and cafe there.
Yeah.
It was
That's
pretty
the only
good.
thing in town, pretty much.
Yeah.
I think there's Lions Clubs open or something.
Yeah,
but
I think they
got,
do
like,
at
cakes and
cafes
that,
or something, yeah. But it was pretty good. Like, you sit there with a beautiful view and eat a mud crab sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'd definitely stay there again. In
Yeah,
our,
I'd stay
in our
there,
top
yeah.
5 spots.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's been, they sting you for everything.
Yeah, because you're in the middle of nowhere. So be
Yeah.
supplied, because milk's like $8. Bread was like $7 or $8 a loaf. Like, they have a little store there in the caravan park, but it's in the middle of nowhere, and they can charge you whatever you like.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, make sure you go stock.
You're stocked. Yeah, be stocked. Or be willing to support, one or the other.
Yeah, that's right.
Be willing to pay it or go fully loaded. But I reckon that's about us for the day.
Yep.
We've been mountain climbing today, so we're all a bit flat.
Yeah.
We climbed to the top of Mount Alum at Bulladila today, which wasn't far, but it was steep.
Yeah, it was steep.
So we're all ready for an nap this afternoon.
Yeah. Right now. Enjoy your Thursday.
Yeah, and Tom's out. He's stood up. He's legging out. Next week, we are going to finish our trip to Bowen, our blast north. We're going to Callan, Hideaway Bay, Bowen, and that's going to be the end of season 2, I think. And we're going to have a little hiatus for a couple of weeks while we do some travelling, and then we'll come back all refreshed and reinvigorated and tackle life.
Callan.
Remember after we tried to stay at Bacassia Beach, and then we stayed at that little St. Helens Gardens in that Callan?
Toads.
With all the cane toads, yeah. But it was a cool spot.
Yeah.
And that lively was lovely. But we'll cover all that next week. And then, like I said, that'll be the end of our blast north. And when we come back after hiatus, I think we will just have a little bit of a discuss about how, like, working up in Bowen and finding work, and we might cover a little bit of that stuff.
Yeah.
After the break.
Yeah.
And then come on back into travel segment again.
That's all right.
That's all right, isn't it?
Yep. Be good.
According to Tom. Yeah, we're all a bit flat. We've been working flat out all summer. We're all ready just to take a break from the technology and enjoy travel life for a little bit. And then we'll still be popping videos and stuff up on the YouTube and Insta and Facebook, and all that'll still be happening. I assume. But yeah, we'll just take a little break from the podcast, get reinvigorated, come back online.
That's right.
So see you all next week. It'll be episode 8 and the last one on season 2. So we'll see you then.
See you then.
Make sure you follow us on all the social media channels at O'Neill's on the Run, and tune in regularly to come along with us on this crazy adventure.